If you're in your 50s and have a 401k or IRA, stop right now. Before you watch another second, I need to tell you about 5 mistakes that are silently destroying your retirement, and you can still fix them. Your 50s are the most critical decade for your retirement savings, and most people have no idea how much money they're leaving on the table. This isn't about market timing or picking the right stocks. These are fundamental errors that financial advisors see every single day, and they're costing people over $100,000 in lost retirement income. I've spent months researching data from the Employee Benefit Research Institute and interviewing certified financial planners who work specifically with pre-retirees, and what I discovered shocked me. The good news is that, if you catch these mistakes now, you still have time to fix them before you hit 60. I'm going to walk you through 5 specific errors and give you the exact action steps to correct each one. The first mistake is not taking advantage of catch-up contributions to your 401k. When you turn 50, the IRS allows you to contribute extra money beyond the standard limit, and most people have absolutely no idea this option exists. In 2025, the standard 401k contribution limit is $23,000, but if you're over 50, you can add another $7,500, bringing your total to $30,500. Think about that for a second. That's an extra $7,500 per year that can grow tax-deferred, and many employers will even match a portion of that catch-up amount. Let me show you what this actually costs if you ignore it. Say you're 50 years old right now, and you have 10 years until retirement. If you contribute that extra $7,500 every year and earn a conservative 7% average return, you're looking at an additional $109,000 by age 60. But wait, because many companies offer a 50% match on catch-up contributions, so with employer matching you could be looking at $127,000 or more that you're just walking away from. That's not a small amount of money. That's potentially years of retirement income you're leaving on the table simply because you didn't know the option existed or didn't think you could afford it. Here's what you need to do immediately. Call your HR department or log into your 401k portal on Monday morning and find out if you're maximizing your contributions. Calculate whether you can afford an extra $625 per month from your paycheck. If you can't do the full $7,500, that's okay. Even contributing an extra $200 per month makes a massive difference over 10 years. Look at your budget and see where you can trim expenses. Many people in their 50s are finally done paying for their kids' college or have paid off their mortgage. This is the perfect time to redirect that money into your retirement accounts. The second mistake is having the wrong asset allocation at age 50. I see this constantly, where someone set up their 401k when they were 30 years old and never looked at it again. They're either still 100% in stocks, which is incredibly risky when you're this close to retirement, or they panicked during the 2008 crash and moved everything to bonds and have missed out on years of growth. Both scenarios are disasters waiting to happen. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in reality. Imagine you're 58 years old with $500,000 saved and you're still fully invested in stocks. Then another market crash like 2008 happens and the market drops 40%. Your account is suddenly worth $300,000 and you're about to retire in a few years. You don't have time to wait for the market to recover. You're forced to retire with significantly less money, and your entire retirement lifestyle just changed. On the flip side, if you moved everything to bonds at age 52 because you got scared, you might only be earning 3 or 4% returns, when stocks have been averaging 10%. That difference compounds massively over the next 15 years. The fix is actually pretty straightforward. There's an old rule of thumb that says your age should equal the percentage of your portfolio in bonds or safe assets. So at 50 you'd have 50% in bonds and 50% in stocks. At 55 it's 55% bonds and 45% stocks. This gradually reduces your risk as you get closer to retirement. Even better, consider using a target date fund that automatically adjusts your allocation as you age. These funds do the rebalancing for you, so you don't have to think about it. The key action here is to review your allocation every quarter and make sure it still matches your age and risk tolerance. A typical 55-year-old portfolio might include 45% in stock index funds, 40% in bond funds, 10% in international stocks, and 5% in cash or money market funds. Mistake number 3 is taking a loan from your 401k without understanding the true cost. People justify this by saying it's their money and they're just borrowing from themselves, and technically that's true, but what they don't realize is the opportunity cost is absolutely devastating. Life happens and emergencies come up, and that 401k loan can seem like an easy solution with no credit check and low interest rates, but there's a hidden trap that most people fall into. Here's a real example of how this plays out. You're 52 years old, and you take a $30,000 loan from your 401k to pay for your daughter's wedding or cover medical bills. 3 years later, at age 55, you get a job offer you can't refuse, or maybe you get laid off. The problem is, when you leave your job, that 401k loan becomes due immediately and in full. If you can't repay it within 60 days, the entire loan is treated as a distribution. Now you're looking at a $3,000 early withdrawal penalty plus $7,500 in taxes if you're in the 25% bracket. But that's not even the worst part. That $30,000 would have grown to approximately $51,000 if you'd left it invested earning 7% returns. When you add it all up, you're looking at a total cost of $85,500. That $30,000 loan just cost you more than double what you borrowed. The solution is to explore every other option first. Consider a home equity line of credit, a personal loan, or even a 0% balance transfer credit card for temporary needs. These options don't put your retirement at risk. If you absolutely must take a 401k loan, only do it for a true emergency. Have a solid repayment plan, and never ever take a loan if there's any chance you might change jobs. Pay it back as quickly as possible, because every month that money is out of your account, you're losing compound growth. The fourth mistake is not converting some of your traditional IRA or 401k money to a Roth IRA. Most people in their 50s have all their retirement savings in traditional accounts where they got a tax deduction going in, but they'll pay taxes coming out. They figure they'll deal with taxes later, but later comes with a nasty surprise called required minimum distributions. Starting at age 73, the government forces you to withdraw a certain percentage from your traditional retirement accounts, whether you need the money or not. These required minimum distributions can push you into a higher tax bracket, make more of your Social Security benefits taxable, and increase your Medicare premiums through something called IRA surcharges. Let me show you the math. Say you're 73 with $800,000 in a traditional IRA. Your first year RMD is approximately $30,000. Add your Social Security of $35,000 and a pension of $20,000, and your total taxable income is $85,000. That puts you in the 22% tax bracket when you could have been in the 12% bracket. That extra 10% costs you $8,500 per year. Over a 20-year retirement, that's $170,000 in extra taxes you didn't need to pay. The smart move is to start doing Roth conversions in your 50s before RMDs kick in. You intentionally convert a portion of your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA and pay taxes on that conversion at today's rates. The key is to spread these conversions over multiple years so you don't jump into a higher bracket. A common strategy is to convert $20,000 to $30,000 per year for 10 years. You pay the conversion tax from your savings account, not from the IRA itself, so the full amount can grow tax-free forever. Do this during lower income years, especially if you retire at 62, but don't claim Social Security until later. Work with a tax advisor to create a multi-year conversion strategy that minimizes your lifetime tax bill. The fifth and final mistake is planning to claim Social Security at 62, just because that's when you're first eligible. The mentality is often, I might die early, so I better take it now, or I've paid into this my whole life, and I want my money. What people don't realize is that claiming early means accepting a permanent 30% reduction in benefits for the rest of your life. Let's compare the numbers side by side. If your full retirement age benefit at 67 is $2,500 per month, claiming at 62 gives you only $1,750 per month. That's 30% less. But if you wait until 70, you get $3,100 per month, which is 24% more than your full benefit. Now run this out to age 85. If you claim at 62 versus waiting until 70, you'll receive $108,000 less over your lifetime. That's assuming you live to 85, which is increasingly common. If you live longer, the difference is even more dramatic. The fix requires planning ahead. If possible, work part-time between 62 and 67 to cover your expenses. Use money from savings or taxable investment accounts between 62 and 70, while letting your Social Security benefit grow at 8% per year. This strategy is especially important if you're the higher earner in your marriage, because your benefit determines the survivor benefit your spouse will receive. It's also critical if you're in good health and have longevity in your family. Every year you delay claiming between 62 and 70 increases your benefit by roughly 6 to 8%, and that increase is guaranteed and inflation adjusted for life. Let me quickly touch on 3 bonus mistakes. Number 6 is not maximizing your health savings account if you have a high deductible health plan. HSAs offer a triple tax advantage that's actually better than a 401k. Your contributions are tax deductible. The money grows tax-free, and withdrawals for medical expenses are tax-free. At age 55, you can contribute an extra $1,000 in catch-up contributions. Many people don't realize you can invest HSA money like a retirement account and use it to pay for healthcare costs in retirement. Number 7 is leaving free money on the table by not getting your full employer match. Even if you have credit card debt, always contribute enough to get the complete company match, because that's an immediate 100% return. Number 8 is failing to update your beneficiary designations after major life events like divorce, remarriage, or when your kids become adults. Your beneficiary form overrides your will, so this 5-minute task has enormous consequences. Here's your action checklist. This week, if you're between 50 and 60, check whether you're doing catch-up contributions. Review your asset allocation, confirm your beneficiaries are current. Calculate what your Social Security would be at different claiming ages, and research Roth conversions with a tax advisor. This month, schedule a meeting with a financial advisor. Create a specific Roth conversion strategy. Increase your 401k contribution if at all possible. Review all your retirement account statements and estimate what your retirement income needs will actually be. Your 50s are truly your last chance to course correct before retirement. But here's the thing. These aren't really mistakes, they're opportunities. Even small changes right now can have a massive impact, because you still have 10 to 15 years of compound growth ahead of you. A few strategic moves today could mean the difference between a comfortable retirement and constantly worrying about money. The worst thing you can do is nothing. Take action this week on at least one of these areas, and you'll be miles ahead of where you were before watching this. Which of these mistakes were you making, and what are you going to fix first?